The beaches are nice.
Yeah?
De mensen zijn zo vriendelijk. Meestal die boven wonen hebben we nooit genodigd. Dat heb ik gewoon gezien. De familie nog weer in winkel. En die wonen meer boven. En we dan weer naar het woont, hebben we dus tegen ons gezegd. En de kinderen zijn ondergedoken in een klooster. En de twee heren, dat zijn de zuinen van één van die twee. De voor uw grootouders.
Die komen van
Amerika. Die zijn van Amerika.
En die wilden niet dat het Belgium gaat weggegeven worden.
Ja, die hebben zo gezegd. Dat zijn heel, we waren die van de wijk gesproken, hè. We hebben die van de wijk gesproken, dat zijn heel vriendelijke, schappelijke mensen. En en we zijn nooit gehoord. Omdat de kinderen waren minder gedoken in de klooster. En ze waren een van de klooster, maar dat was
Yeah. Good morning. My name is Ayelet Lerner, and it is my honor to be here today to give a short introduction for this ceremony in which we will commemorate Abraham Feld and Leni Feld-Schwimmerova. First of all, I would like to welcome the family of Abraham and Leni, who have traveled from the USA to be here and have these stumbling stone placed here today. We also welcome Father Emmanuel Ikeobi, representing the Catholic Bishop of Antwerp. Only a few months ago, my family placed a stumbling stone right across the street for my great-great-grandmother, Fega Bela. And it is in this context that Willem had the idea for me to say a few words. It is most likely that our families knew each other as neighbors and that my family shopped at the grocery store that your family owned right here. In a few moments, we will be hearing the story of your family, which we are honoring today, but before this, I will say a few words about the Stumbling Stones initiative. Stumbling Stones in Antwerp are organized and placed by a group of about 20 non-Jewish volunteers. Willem Kennis, who will be placing these stumbling stones today, I learned that his great-uncle, Jan de Ridder, was part of the Deurne police court during the war, and one of the resistance heroes of this police force, who both warned Jews of upcoming razzias and also managed to help some escape. These were great acts of heroism, which in my opinion are very much like the work of the volunteers involved in placing stumbling stones in Antwerp. I would also like to say a special word of thanks to Ricky van Dijk, who is filming these ceremonies and who keeps the website of the Stumbling Stone Project up to date. His important work means that these ceremonies are documented for families forever and serve as testimony of the countless people we lost during the Holocaust. Alexander Stuckenberg in Amsterdam is the maker of these stumbling stones. The German artist Gunther Denmik is the founder of the Stumbling Stones. It is a European project, and in May of this year, the Stumbling Stones reached 100,000 in Europe, in Nuremberg, placed by Gunther Denmik himself. Gunther Denmik, Alexander Stuckenberg, and all the volunteers working alongside them have given us the opportunity to commemorate the families we lost with honor and dignity and give them a place here in Antwerp to be remembered. As Jewish people around the world today, we are facing horror that we never imagined we would see in our lifetime. The pain, the overwhelming grief and loss of Israel and the Jews all over the world is something that words simply cannot convey. Now more than ever, we must stand united as a Jewish people and work with our friends who show us that humanity prevails. By being here together, this is also part of what is happening here today. The stumbling stones for Abraham Feld and Leni Feld-Schwimmerova will be the 165th and 166th stumbling stones placed in the city of Antwerp. Larry, Linda, Stephen, Tammy, Bryan, Ora, and Susan. Today, your grandparents are no longer a number to the world. They are a name, they are a face, and they are the story you have brought here with you today, of their lives and the legacies of their daughters, Regina and Estelle Feld, who survived, and thanks to whom generations of Jewish families, your children, your grandchildren, will continue to exist and flourish. Today we will hear from Larry Glinzman, the grandson of Abraham and Leni. We will hear from Father Emmanuel Ikeobi, representing the Catholic Bishop of Antwerp, while Willem is placing the stones. For the last part of my introduction to this ceremony, I would like to leave us with the words of Hannah Senesh, a hero who joined the resistance against the Nazis and wrote one of the most beautiful songs I know, Eli, Eli. There are stars whose radiance is visible on earth, though they have long been extinct. There are people whose brilliance continues to light the world, even though they are no longer among the living. These lights are particularly bright when the night is dark. They light the way for humankind.
Good morning all. I was pleased to be part of this ceremony on behalf of the Diocese of Antwerp. when I got an invitation from Lawrence Glinzman as an acknowledgement of the important role played by the Catholic sisters in our diocese in the rescue of his mother and her sister. First, this ceremony reminds us of the need to have a tangible place for the living in the process of grieving and bidding farewell to our beloved ones. But it is also an occasion that reminds us of the human values such as freedom, tolerance, peace, justice, and love, which are not exclusive to a particular group. In his encyclical Laudato Si, Pope Francis states that everything is connected with everything, and that we are all one global family. When one suffers, others suffer by extension. Therefore, we are to care for one another, irrespective of nationality, color, race, or age. And finally, I want to thank once again the Catholic sisters for the good works they did, and in them all the agents of good works in our society today. Let it be a clarion call for us not to repeat this sad event. Thank you.
My name is Larry Glinzman. Grandson. Leni and Abraham came from Muziek, which was at varying times in Poland, in Ukraine, in Czechoslovakia, but because our mother and aunt, Estelle and Rosa, as they were born, even though they were born here in this house, were not Belgian citizens, they were Polish citizens, because that's where their parents were citizens of when they were born. They came here pretty much for freedom. Muziek was not a good place for Jews. It was very difficult. You could not own land, you could not be in certain businesses, you could not work for the government. Abraham's brother Zelig was already here, so this is where they came. And unfortunately, though they did try to escape, they had gone to France and returned back once. So they came back here, and as you could see from the stones, our grandfather was deported, taken thus into the camp, and then sent to France for slave labor, and then to Auschwitz, where he was killed. Leni, for the couple of months that she was here alone with our parents, and our parents, was pretty much in hiding. We went to the park the other day where they used to spend the day covering up their Jewish star to stay away from the house so they wouldn't be arrested. But she took them to an order of nuns that unfortunately no longer exists here in Antwerp, and they took what was then Rosa and Stella and hid them. They were in a lot of different places, farms, orphanages, schools. They had many different names. Rosa and Stella Felice. And they ended up being Estelle and Regina. Both of our mothers refused to come back here, and what they said was they had very few good memories here. But the difficult and bad things were much clearer than the good things. I know my mother said one of the best things she remembered was lighting Shabbos candles on Friday night with her mother. But in revenge, they had Abraham and Leni had 5 grandchildren. Correct me if I'm wrong. 13 grandchildren, great-grandchildren. 16? 16 great-grandchildren, and there's more on the way shortly. So, in some way, that's Abraham and Leni's revenge. But we thank everybody for their kindness in getting this done. I know that the process of authorizing these stones to be put in was arduous. But Mr. Kennis and everyone else involved were diligent, and we very much appreciate everything they did. And I know, and also, it seems a little odd, but thanks to the Father, if it wasn't for the nuns, none of us would be here. Does any of you boys want to say anything?
So my name is Bryan Olter. I'm grandson of Abraham and Leah Feld. And I'm just going to say a couple to Tehillim shortly, but before I do, and if we have a minyan, I'll say Kaddish, but before I do, just a couple of thanks. First to Mr. Kennis and all the volunteers who've just done amazing work, both on behalf of our family and all the other families in the Antwerp area and beyond. And thank you to Ayelet and to the Father for those very beautiful and meaningful words. And on behalf of my brother and our wives, Ora and Tammy and Linda, if I may, we want to thank Larry, our big cousin, for all the work he's done over the years. What you're seeing now is, in addition to all the amazing work the volunteers have done, Larry has really been the historian and the doer in the family when it comes to preserving the memories of our grandparents. So, for many years, all we knew was that our grandparents died in the Holocaust, in the Shoah. We didn't have any of the details, and it was thanks to Larry's research that we eventually found out, that they were deported to Auschwitz, and we have the dates that they were killed. So we're able to say Kaddish and to light candles in their memory on the dates, the appropriate dates. Larry's been working for 10 years on this project alone, doing the research and following up with Mr. Kennis and the other volunteers. So thank you, Larry, for everything you've done. I'm just going to say a couple to Tehillim, both in memory of our mothers and our grandparents, and also in light of as Ayelet spoke about the horrible echoes of the Shoah that are happening today, when we thought it could never happen again, with the events in Israel and now the events around the world, in Europe and America. Anybody who's following the news sees just really painful and horrible echoes of the tragedies that we thought could never happen again. So if I'll just read two Tehillim, line by line. Just give me 1 minute. It's Kuf Chaf Aleph and Kuf Lamed. Shir Lamalos Asai Nayalarim Me'ayin Yavo Ezri Ezri meyem Adonai Yosei Shamayim va'aretz Al yitain lamod raglecha Al yanum shomerecha Hine lo yanum below yishan Shomer Yisrael Adonai shomerecha Adonai tzilecha Al yad yaminecha Yomam Hashemesh lo yakeka V'yareach Balayla Adonai yishmercha Mikora Yishmor Es nafshecha Adonai yishmor tzeischa V'oecha Me'ata V'yad olam Shir Amalos Mima Makim Kirasicha Adonai Adonai Shema B'Koli Tiyena Aznecha Kashuvosa Kol Tachanunai Im Avonos Tishmarya Adonai Miyamod Ki Imecha Haslicha Liman Tivorei Kivisi Adonai Kivsa Nafshi V'Lidvara Hocholti Nafshi L'Adonai Mishomerim Laboker Shomerim Laboker Yachel Yisrael El Adonai Ki Am Adonai Chesed Varbeim Ofidus V'Hu Yiftes Yisrael Mikol Avonosav. Do we have a minion? Are you Jewish? No. You're welcome. Thank you for coming. We just need 10 Jewish men to say a prayer. Yeah, I know. Okay. Okay. Let's pull it out. No. Just want to find. Can you have it there? Yiskadash Shmei Rabbah Lamadi Rachar Yam Lichmach Hasei V'chayechon V'yomechon V'chayei D'chol Beis Yisrael V'galad V'zmakariv V'yimru Amen Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach V'yolam Ni'omei Yomayah Yisparach V'yishtabach V'yispar V'yisromam V'yisnasei V'yishadar V'yishalev V'yishalash Shmei V'kisha B'richu Leila min kol bechasa v'shirasa V'chasa v'nechamasa Kamiram b'yamav v'yimru amen Yehei shlom harav v'mishanaya V'chaim aleinu v'al Yisrael v'yimru amen Yaseh shalom r'amav v'hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al Yisrael v'yimru amen.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Mr. Kennis, it's apparent that you've done this a few times. It's a wonderful job of placement. Yeah. Say good. Still in the monastery, in the abbey? Where he stays. She might know someone who was there. She would have been younger than her parents.
you.